GrowthCon 2025, and I'm here with one of my best, I call you one of my best friends.
I love it, yes.
How long have we
True.
known each other?
It's been 5 years now, 4 years, 4.5,
Wow.
yeah.
We met at a mutual girlfriend's birthday party, and we both were like, wait a minute, you're my vibe.
Yep. Jillian, shout out to Jillian.
Yeah, shout out to Jillian. By the way, amazing, right? The courage to leave real estate to become a DJ.
Yes, yep, starting over.
You
Seems
know-
like a pattern.
I'm so obsessed with people who are like, hey, I'm gonna follow my dream. And being a DJ is probably something that like your parents are like, no, you went to school, go back to real estate.
Yep. Or don't be an entrepreneur, go back to get a job.
Yeah, totally. So we're both entrepreneurs. We have a group of entrepreneur friends, and I've really enjoyed watching Morgan grow over the years. Share with us your journey in solar.
Yeah, so started out really just knocking doors. I think that's really what I loved about you from the minute that I met you. I knew you knocked doors and that there was no secret to actually getting your volume up. It's just the old school hustle. So now I'm my own dealer, which is super exciting. So Own Your Power is the name of the dealer. And it's really exciting just to be kind of in control of how I train the reps and use the experiences that I've had to, I guess, do something differently than what the majority of the solar industry is doing. So,
And is it common for a woman to own and distribute solar?
I would say the majority are men, but of course, like any sales industry, it's majority construction industry is a lot of men.
Yeah.
But I've been able to find some really awesome women in the space. Like we all ended up connecting with each other naturally because we all found each other.
So few of us, we all find each
Yeah,
other.
exactly. Yeah.
Totally.
And then just, empowering each other to do things different. I mean, you were a huge aspect of that in my life, just telling me when it was time to move on and do something bigger, like dream bigger and do something maybe bigger than working for somebody else.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Everyone kind of has that evolution where you start in an industry like sales
Yep.
and you're not sure you're going to make it.
Yep.
And to her credit, I remember us being in the car together and being like, how many doors did you do today?
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And then just the motivating factor of knowing that there's other people out there doing it, and there's, like we always say, there's speed, there's money in speed, right? Or
Totally.
the energy of the speed. So.
And I think we need a community of support because we're so weird.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. You always ask me, like, who do you talk to? But I think once you always want to have a coach, and that you're big on coaching, obviously.
Yeah.
So having a coach, having a mentor, and then, having big people in your life that are going to empower you to do bigger things. That's
Agreed.
like the dream bigger.
So she went from knocking doors, which is the same for us in real estate as cold calling, right? She said, hey, I'm getting really good at this. What was your biggest month you had?
Yeah, my biggest month that I've ever done in a month is 21, still to this day.
Amazing.
Yeah. And I think the biggest difference is just having the team behind you also. So having a group.
I don't know if you heard her, she said 21 installs in 1 month. Is that a record for the company you came from?
I would say it was a record for the company I came from, the amount of people we had, 100%. But then also too, I think in terms of install rate, like people talk about sales, but until they're installed, it's not a sale, right?
Right.
So having the integrity with your customers for them to say like, yeah, I'm gonna carry this project all the way through to install, just like a real estate agent does with the sale of the home. So your job is not done until
it's not just about listing, it's about closing the sale.
Exactly. Yep.
Getting paid.
Doesn't matter if you don't close it. Yep.
What is the average commission if you're comfortable sharing it on like an install in solar?
Yeah, $4,000 to $5,000. It would be like a low end commission. If you're, whether it be like, that's like a split. So like if you were to be setting an appointment, that's like a typical commission that you would be receiving as just even setting an appointment.
Okay.
And then that almost doubles when you're closing and setting the appointment. So I haven't really seen anything other than really real estate that pays those types of dividends for the amount of work that you're doing.
A $210,000 a month, essentially.
Yes. Yep.
So if you did that every month, $1.2 million.
And then especially too, if you're a dealer and you have that margin, those numbers fluctuate. So it's different, especially when you're the person now, you're in control of that, and you get to decide how your employees are paid and how you disperse that income. So it's pretty exciting.
I love that you're talking about employees because you're no longer out there banging down doors. You're not just a technician out in the field, you own the company and you have people working with you. So can you talk a little bit more about that transition from being a worker to being a leader?
Not an easy one. I think leadership is just such an interesting, it's a roller coaster. You learn so much about yourself. But I think just learning how I can be of more support to the people around me and like really just stepping into that leadership role as far as, okay, what would I have wanted if I was a new rep?
Yeah.
And really none of the things that I give were offered, really. I had a really great mentor, but that one-on-one, I know you spend a lot of time mentoring, but it's really rare to have a leader that's like, I'm gonna spend time with you and make sure that you get the same value of experience that I got. But yeah, just really stepping into that role and like learning together. So I think learning together is the biggest thing.
I appreciate that you were really vulnerable with me and shared something earlier, because a lot of us have experienced it. As you go from being that person out in the field learning sales to now I'm going to run a team, or now I'm going to own a brokerage or a company. What were some, I mean, can I share what you said?
Yeah, no, totally. Yep.
So we were kind of talking about some of the mistakes that we both made. She goes, I wouldn't want to work with me either.
Yeah. At that point in time, because you look back and you're like, and I love that so many people bring up John Maxwell.
Yeah.
I read The Self-Aware Leader and I'm like, wow, like, pardon my French, but damn, it was me the whole time. Like it was
the common denominator.
Yeah. So it's looking back and having the level of self-awareness to be like, okay, I can be better, and like I can be hold myself accountable for being better, but I can also be aware of how I've made others feel around me, and then move on from that. So yeah.
So how did you make changes, or what made you realize like, hey, I need to improve my leadership? And thank you, by the way, for being so vulnerable.
Yeah. I think just we heard about it today at the GrowthCon event, but like being aware of those mistakes and taking them as the ability to make a change and pivot, as opposed to feeling like down on myself about it, because I had never been a leader before. So how would I know what's the best thing to do in all situations? But yes, being vulnerable with the reps, and then being vulnerable in general, and just saying like, I'm not perfect.
Yes.
You can get better. And then also too, you getting better, law of the lid, helps everybody else around you get better.
A rising tide helps all boats.
Exactly, yeah.
What were some of the like actual changes you made in your business? Like, did you have different meetings? Did you like speak to people differently?
I think for me it was, well, yes, the tone. I think the tone and the way that I was speaking to people really at a certain point could have been different. But I think the biggest change for me was just really taking the time to have that connection with the people that I'm working with. Like, how can I be better? How can you be better? How can we all be better? Because we're working together as a team. So it's the biggest.
Did you hear what he said about culture today?
Yes.
Girl, I literally went into my role of agents and I was like, I messed up.
Yep.
They fucked up. I fucked up.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And it's also like, I love the stories of like, and I have a few of these now, and I'm new in entrepreneurship. So I'm sure they'll grow and the stories will grow, but having the people in your circle that are like, yeah, you did mess up, and yeah, you didn't do that perfect, but I'm so happy that I can learn from you and that we can learn together and then be better moving forward. So you weed out the people that aren't supposed to be there, but then also too, knowing when, they talked about it today, but like knowing when to cut that off, and knowing who you're spending time with is going to be valuable for, a mutually beneficial relationship. So
knowing who to put the time into.
And I made that mistake big time, just hoping that I could be that change, that catalyst in their life. And sometimes you just can't be. So you got to know when to walk away.
And that's so hard, because you really care about people.
Yeah.
And when you care about people that much, it's like, you want to go out there and knock the door for them and close the deal for them, but that doesn't actually help them.
Yep, it doesn't. And I've learned that the hard way.
Yep. Yeah.
Hard way so many times.
Yeah, it's hard. And if somebody wanted to learn more about solar, whether it's, an install that they want to have on their home or their building, or if they're out there doing solar and they're like, hey, I like it, but I'm not seeing results. How could they connect with you?
Yeah, awesome. So I'm very easily reachable via Instagram as well as by email, which I'm sure, I don't know how these tag things, but really my advice is, if you are in a specific state, just like anything else, find somebody that's doing it really well in that state and connect with them. So if you're in Vegas, if you're in Arizona, if you're in Texas, I can help you there. But for the rest of those states, find somebody that's doing it really well in the industry. Look at the track record of the installer, and make sure that you're working with someone that's actually doing things the legit way, because that's the biggest thing, is there's not a lot of regulation. Things are changing. But when solar's done the right way, it is one of the best things that you can have as a homeowner, one of the best investments that you can make on your home. So I stand by that.
And a lot of people have a common misconception about solar. I'm glad you brought me to that point. I hear all the time from agents, don't do solar. Can you correct that statement for everyone watching?
Yep. I think that there are going to be certain scenarios that don't make sense depending on the homeowner's situation. But if you plan to stay in your home for 5 or more years, there's no reason why you shouldn't be considering solar. Not only does it increase the actual value of the home, so in Texas, you're looking at 7 to 8% of an increase on the value of your home just for adding the solar system itself. But then you're also turning a liability into an asset on a bill that we can't cancel. So the whole concept is just like when you buy a home,
yes,
you don't want to rent because you want to own. It's the same concept with solar. We want to own our power, but make sure it is a trustworthy installer that's going to make sure that things are done right and have longevity in the project. So
quick question. I generally will tell people when they ask me about solar, how long do you plan to live there?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Do you feel that solar is a good or a bad idea if they're only looking to live someplace 2 or 3 years?
I would say no,
Don't
100% no. And I know that there's a lot of people that are probably going to disagree with me on that, but I'm putting the homeowner in a situation where they might not get that ROI back out when they sell. So
see, this is an ethical salesperson right here, because she just told you the God's honest truth. If you're going to own your home for 10 years, it makes perfect sense. Yep. You're going to get a tax write-off. Mm-hmm. You're going to have better power. Mm-hmm. You're going to own your power. Mm-hmm. However, if you plan to resell your home in a short period of time, depending on the market you're in, you may not get that investment back, and it may just add another lien to your property.
Exactly.
So this is an ethical person. If you're thinking about putting solar on your home, that alone right there, this is who you want to talk to. They're in it to help you, not just in it for herself.
100%.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much for your time, Morgan. Any thoughts you want to leave us with?
No, I love it. And then also too, if you are an aspiring real estate agent and you don't have a team to work with, this is who I would be working with if I was in that space. And this is who I would 100% always endorse through and through.
We're going to get our license.
100%.
Girl, I love you so much. So proud of you.